Hello everyone, welcome back to Luke's TV Talk, where I go over some of the most recent TV episodes I've been watching. And for this episode, I'll be looking at House of the Dragon Episode 2. And just before we start, make sure to like and subscribe to keep up to date with all future episodes. But let's get into this one. So, at the start of the episode, it's been a 6-month time jump, and Rhaenyra and Viserys are hardly speaking. The small council has a meeting, and they discuss how the crab feeder has continued his control over the sea, and Lord Velaryon has had enough of this and wants the king to do something about it. Rhaenyra picks a new City Watch commander and spends time with Alicent. They actually go to I think it's the Sept, and they pray and they put out some candles for their mothers and everything, and it's really quite sweet, but kind of suspicious on Alicent's part because it gets really complicated towards the end of the episode. So Viserys' finger is starting to rot from the cut he got from the end of the first episode, and everyone is trying to get him to marry someone, including Lord Velaryon's daughter and also Otter's daughter, Alicent. Daemon ends up stealing an egg meant for Baelon, and Rhaenyra confronts him at Dragonstone. They actually spend a really good amount of time on the way to Dragonstone building it up, like when Otto and his men go there. There's actually a lot of fog, and it makes it really mysterious and really dangerous because you can hardly see anything. And when Daemon appears, it's like out of the fog, and he's like carrying the egg, and it's really ominous because Otto is like out of his element completely. But when Rhaenyra arrives, it becomes a lot more of a standoff because Daemon's dragon appears, and also Rhaenyra's as well, and they kind of just have a face-off. But eventually it gets sorted out, and they go their separate ways. Viserys is getting closer with Alicent, and Alicent ends up getting him a gift as well by fixing a small dragon statue that got broken early in the episode, and it kind of brings a smile to Viserys' face. Viserys confronts Rhaenyra about the Dragonstone incident, and they talk about him eventually having to remarry, which she understands, but she's still not completely for, because obviously she loves her mother, and she only kind of sees it as him replacing her. He does as well, but he knows he has to do it for the good of the realm, as everyone says. Viserys tells the council he will marry Alicent, to the surprise of Lord Velaryon and Rhaenyra. But it is really sly of Otto, because when he announces this, Alicent is very clearly like, oh, okay, because she kind of knew it was trying to lead up to that, but Otto, he was trying to do this, and when it happens, he has a very sly smile on his face. And Lord Velaryon, he is not happy at all about it. And also Rhaenyra, she is in complete shock, and she's like staring at Alicent like, what have you done? Why have you done this? As a result, Lord Velaryon gets in contact and meets with Daemon, and they talk about the crab feeder and how he wants Daemon to take care of that issue, and possibly in return he'll end up supporting him in some way, because obviously if the king's not going to do it, but he can get Daemon to do it, he'll be like, oh, I should support him, because he's the one that's helping my family out. So I really had a good time with this episode. It's a lot of fun. It continues the family dynamics and drama from everything from getting him to marry someone else and getting Rhaenyra's relationship with him fixed up a bit more because they've hardly spoken, and he wants to get closer to her, but he just doesn't know how. So as I mentioned before, Viserys and Rhaenyra were improving their relationship, but throughout the episode it starts to build up and then just completely falls flat at the end when she finds out he's going to be marrying basically her best friend Alicent. Like, they were trying to build something, they're trying to talk again, and that just that made the House of Cards fall, and Rhaenyra is completely gobsmacked and just doesn't want to even look at him. She just walks out at the end of the episode. Rhaenyra continues to be the most kick-ass character in the whole show, especially when they're at Dragonstone and they're all just standing there, and you see the clouds slightly parting, like a shark is going through them, and then she just flies out of it on her dragon, and she is just taking no BS from anyone. She's getting it done what needs to be done. Like, she's suggesting multiple things throughout the episode to Viserys, and he kind of just takes it to one side, like, yeah, okay, thank you for the suggestion, but you're not really involved. But whenever she's like, oh yeah, I'm going to deal with this, especially when Daemon takes the egg that was meant for Baelon, she's like, no, I'm going to deal with this and not have anyone tell me otherwise. She's just such a kick-ass character. The dragons are still awesome. I think it's Syraxis or something, I think one of them's called. They're awesome. Daemon's one, obviously, because it's a bit different, because it's got the longer neck and more of a high-pitched shriek. And Rhaenyra's is obviously the classic kind of look of dragon. So but they're also very different from Drogon and Daenerys's 3. So it's nice to see the different designs coming in. The Game of Thrones and Viserys' marriage is completely in full swing, with Alicent and the young Valyrian girl trying to almost buy good terms with the king. Like, the Valyrians are trying to get their daughter in, but also Otto's trying to get his daughter in, and they're all trying to get that queen position. And it's really cool to see the drama unfold. So the crab feeder looks a really interesting character, especially at the end of the episode when they reveal his face. It's almost like half moulding, half metal. He looks really creepy, and I'm interested to see the actual character and how they act, because they seem like such a brutal character. It's going to be cool to see how they interact. Daemon's a great character. Half the time you're rooting for him, and the other half you're hating him, because you get where he's coming from, but you also hate how and why he's doing it sometimes, and he's just a character that you love to hate. And also, things are not looking good for the king at this moment. Like, he had that sore on his back, his fingers like rotting off, and people know that he is not in good condition, and he needs to have an heir, because he is falling apart and could die soon. So everyone's just like, have an heir, have a son. Yeah, it's not looking good. And the last really cool point is that we finally got the intro, like the classic Game of Thrones one, where it's going through all the houses and everything. But this time it's like it's going through like stone. It's like blood going through loads of sigils and stuff, and it's really cool how the blood all like congregates around the Targaryen sigil, and it's an awesome new intro, and I'm glad they've included a new one. But yeah, overall I had a fun time with this episode. A lot of family drama and kick-assery with Rhaenyra, and like playing the Game of Thrones, people putting their daughters in to become the new queen and stuff, and Otto underhandedly putting his daughter in a position where she can become close with the king and like make their relationship bloom, and the king thinks of Alicent as a nice person, and not just Otto underhandedly putting his daughter in that position. But yeah, I had a great time. House of Dragons is looking to be a really good series. They've renewed it for a second season, so that's also promising. But it's only 2 episodes in. I imagine the rest of the series is going to be great, so I'm looking forward to episode 3. But yeah, if you enjoyed the episode, make sure to like and subscribe to keep up to date with all future episodes. And until then, I will see you next time.